Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Russian Tier 8 Premium Medium tank, the K-91 version 2. Now, this tank is actually a pretty solid tank. It's actually one that I think is rather slept on, to be honest, because it's just, it's just another Russian medium tank at Tier 8, and there's quite a few of those. I think it's a really solid tank, and it's one that, sort of, when it first came out, it sort of just went by and no one really batted an eyelid at it. And that's, it's because it's got pretty solid mobility. It goes at 55 kilometers an hour, and it hits that easily. It's not really got that much hull armour, so it gets penned quite easily on the hull. But the turret armour's like 230, 240 effective in places, and then the cupola's not the strongest, but you can bounce quite a few shots off of it and stuff like that, which is nice. The gun on it is pretty solid in itself. It's pretty accurate with or without vert stabs. It's got 212 pen on the APCR round, 290 on the heat round, which is fantastic. You're going to pen everything you're going to face with that. And with a reload of like, well, you'll see in a second when it fully goes up, 6.2. Solid for 250 alpha. It's okay. I think as a tank, this is fairly slept on, because most of the time, whenever I've mentioned the K-91 version 2 to people, they go, oh, it's just another Russian medium, right? And then you go, no, it's pretty good. The only real downside to the tank is 5 degrees of gun depression, but that's so totally Russian that, well, it's just what you expect from a Russian tank, really, isn't it? Is it not? And yeah, I think on the whole, this is a really solid tank. And you can actually earn this tank for free if because at the point, Team Arnie looks like it's going to complete it quite easily. If Team Mila manages to complete their 8 million points, or 8.5 million points, everyone will have the choice of earning either the CS52 lease, the K-91 version 2, or the T42. Now, if you want to check out what the CS52 lease is like, go check out the video I've got on it recently. Most people will have earned that tank, I'm pretty sure, so most people have it and know what it's like. So between the K-91 version 2 and the T42, I think this is the best option, because the K-91 version 2 is actually a really solid Tier 8 premium medium tank. You've got all the pen in the world that you need, you've got pretty decent DPM, you've got good mobility, you've got really good camo as well, by the way, which is also a nice factor. So you can do quite a lot with this tank, and I think it is a pretty damn fun tank. Pretty versatile in that way. The T42, myself, the American Tier 8 Premium Medium Tank, is a little bit mediocre and can be very frustrating with the gun, I feel, and the fact that the mobility is fairly weak on it too, and it's got not really much armour. So I would say that this is probably the better one out of the two. Between all three, I don't know, I definitely think it's between this and the CS52 lease, but I think it's down to what you like, really, to be honest. I'd say check out the other video on the CS52 lease to make your mind up. But saying that, it's all down to whether Team Mila actually hits the points threshold to be able to earn it. Hopefully they manage to do it. I think they've got, at the point of recording this video, about 13 days, and they're on like 4.5 million, something like that. And I know that Wargaming did something to boost their points total. So hopefully, like I say, hopefully, they'll get there and everyone can earn themselves a free Tier 8 premium. That's the hope. So keep going, people of Team Mila. You can do this. You can get to 8.5 million, and hopefully, yeah, you'll get yourself a free Tier 8 premium. And like I say, this premium tank is a pretty solid Tier 8 medium for what it is, and I think it's a lot of fun. The only thing you've got to work over and get past is that 5 degrees gun depression, just like any other Russian medium, to be honest. And it can feel a little bit annoying at times on ridgelines, but hey. So in terms of a crew on the K-91 version 2, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Muffled Shot, Steady Aim, Snapshot, and Run and Gun. Snapshot, Run and Gun, and Steady Aim to make the gun as good as possible, because it can be a little bit derpy if you don't run those perks, so just make sure the gun is as good as possible, because the gun is a nice factor on the tank. You want to make sure it hits all its shots. Like I say, the camo is really good on this tank, so run Camouflage Expertise and Muffled Shot to make the camo better, and to make sure that your camo is better after firing. Naturally, you could run Silent Driving instead of Muffled Shot to make your tank, was it 55% better concealment when moving, which is a great buff to have for a tank that's stealthy. It's up to you what you want. That's your preference. In terms of equipment, I run vert stabs, rammer, and optics. Optics to make my view range as good as possible. I can get it up to like 486 meters view range with it. Rammer to make the DPM as good as possible, and vert stabs just to make that gun be able to sing. Because without vert stabs, it can be a little bit troll and annoying. But it can actually play without them, and you can put a camo net on instead to make the camo absolutely fantastic on this tank. And like I said, the camo is great. You can get it down to like 250 meters on steel concealment, or 260 meters, something like that. It's really goddamn good. So in this game, this first game, we're bottom tier and we're on steps. We've managed to do 4.8k damage with 1,000 assistance. They're capping. They've got one guy in the cap, but we've got one person that's been capping the whole time, so we're about to cap out. So I'm like, ram! And we lose most of our hit points, but we do get an extra 200 damage on that 2790. So we'll absolutely take it. And we finish with the 5k damage and 1,000 assistance. And we finish with the victory, 2 kills, like I say. 2.5k base, what, 2.5? 2,000 base XP. Ace Tanker, the Confederate, the Sniper. Yeah, 2,058 base XP. A really great game for the K-91 version 2 in its worst possible matchmaking. Like I say, it's an absolutely solid tank. And actually, that's the one thing I forget. I think this video might actually be getting uploaded on Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you're having a good day. Hope everyone has a nice Christmas, has some big turkey, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, just happy holidays. Happy whatever it is for you people out there. And I hope you've got a nice day off to chill. So yeah, Merry Christmas. Didn't forget that. I think this is probably going to get uploaded on the 25th. It's one of those things, because I've been making these videos in big batches so that we can make sure that we get you all these daily content for December. So yeah, we're on to the second replay. And we're on this map, which is called something. Rosanai. That's the one. We're on Rosanai, and we are going to the castle. We're bottom tier again, which is not cool, but we'll take it. It's fine. Like I say, 212 pen means we're going to be able to pen a lot of the tanks we're going to face, and if we can't pen them, quite frankly, we can just load 290 heat pen, because 290 heat pen on this tank is absolutely filthy and beautiful. And yeah, it just makes the ability to pen things not so frustrating like a lot of other medium tanks. I mean, if I was to take the T-54 Mod 1 or the T-44-100, for example, which is obviously two of its Russian competitors, they only have 247 pen on the premium round and 201 on the standard. So that extra 11 pen on the standard round does make a hell of a lot of difference, as well as the shell velocity being, by the way, with the APCR. The shell velocity on this standard APCR is 1150, which is absolutely great. That is so nice to have. I mean, with the T-44-100s, I believe it's like 900 or something like that. So having that on your standard is really good. But yeah, that 11 extra pen on your standard round does make a hell of a lot of difference. And the fact that you can just load, 247 premium pen on a T-44-100. And I think it's actually something similar on the STG as well, which is another one of its competitors, a Russian medium tank, which is why I say there's so many to choose from, right? And a lot of people have already earned stuff like the STG or the T-44-100. So a lot of people already have these tanks, which is why this tank gets slept on quite a lot. There's still a lot of tanks you will struggle with 247 pen. IS-4 right there, 247 pen. Unless you are getting its flat side, it will still struggle with. And yeah, 290 pen is going to go through them, well, most tanks, which is nice. So yeah, on Rosanai, you can see we've pushed very aggressively here, but we have a lot of team cover, so I'm quite happy to push aggressively. When you push this into this area on the castle, you do have to be wary of your team positioning, because if you push in this aggressively into this position here, but you have no one to help and cover you, it ends badly very, very quickly, and we don't want that for our peoples, do we? So yeah, you've got to be careful when you make this push, but as you can see, I'm safe in this area at the minute. There's just an IS-3 in front of me, that's it. We've got a lot of people on our right who's trying to get shots. We've got the people behind us as well. And I think, you know what? I'm going to go on in this IS-3 and try and start farming him. We get a nice shot through his upper plate. He ends up penning our side there because we gave him our side. This guy with 212 pen, we are going to be able to pen his tracks. We might be able to pen his upper plate a little bit every now and then, but we're definitely going to pen him with the heat rounds, which is what we're going for. Now I've got the heat rounds in, I've got to go for this upper plate. And unfortunately, we just over-aim it a little bit and end up hitting his tracks and tracking him in place. So we're going to face hug him, because if he's firing standard, he might actually struggle to pen my turret front. And then we managed to bounce, well, I say we bounced. I think I actually got absorbed by those track links on the front of the tank, the heat round. And we actually managed to not pen him there. And I was like, what? Come on now. Thankfully, we managed to get it shut down before he got another shot at us. So we're just going to angle our way through this gap in this doorway to see if we can get a shot at this SDRVK. Unfortunately, we end up missing. But he edges in front to give us another shot, so we get a shot in. There's that 268 there, and I'm like, okay, the Object 268. I've just got to be careful of him, because obviously he's got a big gun. He can shut us down in one shot. But I could pen him with 8 heat, and I'm thinking, right, where is he? Let's have a look. Okay, he's actually... Is he not staring our way? No, he is staring our way. That was me not recognising that he was staring at us. I thought, wait, is he looking the other way? And as I came around the corner, I was like, oh, God, he's not. And we get so lucky that that 268 only tracked us there and didn't pen us. Because that could have been the end of our game right there. And that would not have been good. That was just a bad moment of me going, is he looking? Is he? I don't know. I can't really tell. And thankfully, like I say, he only did track damage. The SDRVK actually bounced off us as well. We're trying to pull around the corner to get a cheeky shot into that 268, which we managed to get in, which is nice. We're up to 2.3k damage with 3 kills, 226 assistance. And I'm just like being careful right now, because I can see the 2 heavy tanks are flanking this SDRVK and 268, and like I said, I can pen them really easily with a 290 heat pen. So I'm just trying to get myself into a position where I can try and get some cheeky side shots while they're distracted. But we are constantly lit. So I'm going to try and use the camo of the tank to try and spot this 268 and try and get a shot at him without him seeing me. Fortunately enough, we managed to get a shot into him as he's, again, distracted. We've got to use our gun here and keep at them while they are distracted, because we don't want to be the main focus of their attention, but if they're distracted with other people, we want to be putting shots in consistently into them, which is what we're doing here. And we get another nice shot into his superstructure there. With the 290 heat, like I say, we're going to go through that guy pretty easily. And we're just going to switch back to APCR. Now, there's the IS-4 there that I was thinking, oh, no, I can't go for that guy with APCR. I've got to load heat to go through him. So we're loading back into the heat. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just a bit of indecision. Because I don't really want to go for the IS-4, to be perfectly honest, by myself. Because it's a Russian tier 10 heavy tank that is probably going to boss me quite easily. Because it's going to be a struggle to pen with, just even with heat. And then it's like, okay, there's a Sturm Tiger. Hello, Mr. Sturm Tiger. We get a nice shot through his lower plate. But he's starting to get people attacking from the other side. So it's like, well, now he's distracted again. We can start putting other shots in. So we get a nice shot into his side. We reload APCR because we don't need the heat really anymore. We've got these heavy tank and light tank, and I think a medium tank possibly, or as another light tank, attacking this TD in our base. So it's a cram bomb. We've got some rear shots. We're going to go try help this TD out as much as humanly possible. Now, he might die, but in his death, we want to help him out. Well, okay, that Jagdpanzer's full health and the cram bomb's bouncing off him. But we want to help him as much as humanly possible. So we keep him alive. We'll defend the base. This Cranvarn's trying to get round him, but fortunately enough, we get to shut him down and help the Jagdpanzer there, who was getting a bit screwed over. Now there's a G-Saw. We just leave the target, fire the shot, and manage to pen him, which is nice. Just good. You still got to make sure that you get those leads in. I mean, 1100 isn't 1400, right? And we do manage to shut down that G-Saw there. Then the Astron Rex appears. The Astron Rex ends up bouncing off our upper plate, which is nice, or our turret front, sorry. And we're just trying to find that cupola shot, because the Astron Rex could come in on us and shut us down. We don't want that. But we want to try and get as many shots into this guy before he gets a retaliatory, there we go, English, shot into us. Fortunately enough, the Indian Panzer came over and did track damage to us. We got to get a shot into him. T-62A shuts him down, and now we're helping this T-62A out as the Astron Rex is coming in. We're just hoping for that drive wheel shot to track him. It doesn't quite come off, but we do get the shot in to pen him, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm on 5 kills, because I can see that now with my ribbons. I want the top gun, top gun, top gun. Oh, I just can't quite get there to get the shot into that guy, though, unfortunately. But now the IS-4 is left, there's a Charioteer. It's like, okay, we've got to go for this IS-4. We've got to try and get this guy into our top gun. Not going to be an easy task, like I say, because an IS-4 is a bit of a pain for us to pen, because APCR is not going to pen him 212 APCR unless we get his rear. The heat will go through his lower plate, but the side of him, because it's a lot of spaced armor, might not quite do it. We've got to avoid the spaced armor, which is what we're doing, and we shut down the IS-4. You can see we were aiming between the tracks. We weren't just aiming into his side armor aimlessly. We were just aiming between the tracks into that side armor so that it wasn't hitting the space, and we managed to shut him down. So I'm going to cut it right here in this game as well, because we end up spending about two and a half minutes chasing down a Charioteer and no one actually finds him. So we actually end up finished with the victory. 6 kills, 5.3k damage, and 226 assistance. Ace tanker, lavish Lilos, high caliber, top gun, 2.3, nearly 2.4k base XP. A really great game for the K-91 version 2 in a really bad matchup. Levish Lilos for killing 2 tanks 2 tiers higher. Really great game for the K-91 version 2. A tank that I think, in my personal opinion, is quite slept on, to be honest. It's a pretty good tank. And I would either pick this or the CS52 lease from that Tankmas earn-up if Team Mila managed to hit 8.5 million points. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.